Welcome back to Sports Federation TV. If you missed the first segment, you can catch the repeat tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. You can also catch each segment within the next 2 weeks on YouTube. Our partners on the show, the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation. One of its members is Western Cape Kickboxing, who represented here this evening. Mr. Dave, you well?
Fine, and you?
Good. Kickboxing, many believe, is a dangerous sport. I disagree. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you. Kickboxing is not a dangerous sport because most of the guys that's been doing the fighting is conditioned and they've been trained by the instructors to do this type of fighting. So when these guys pitch up for a fight, you know for a certain fact that they've done their medicals, everything is in line. If something happens to a fighter, then obviously somebody's going to be in deep problems.
Yep.
So it's the guys is focused, the guys is working hard to get to that certain level, and they maintain that level. And the guys, when they fight, the matches is made up before the fight, so there's no mismatches. So you match a guy with basically the same type of experience with another guy, so the guys are very close to each other.
Does the event organizer do that, or how does that system work? Because no one's ever spoken about that side of things.
The event organizer, what happens is everybody sends their fighters' details to the event organizer.
Like a profile kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they then do is they take the profiles of each fighter and their weight categories, and then they put these guys. So if a guy's got 10 fights, do you want to go and put him against a guy who's got 1 fight?
Ah, I see.
Because then obviously if that guy's being hurt, then somebody's got to say, listen,
yep,
I haven't done my work. So all the fights is, especially with K1 full contact and those guys are fighting there where the guys are really conditioned to that, to that kind of fighting, all those matches is 100% sorted out.
Dave, you mentioned something earlier about a medical history. How important is that part of your record keeping?
Us as clubs that's affiliated to Western Province Kickboxing, Western, and then through SACA, it's the main body in South Africa. Once a year, all the students in your dojo's got to have a medical checkup by a medical doctor, and he's got to put his stamp on it.
Okay.
So nobody can come with a piece of paper and says, yes, my doctor signed here. At each tournament, that letter or a copy of that letter must accompany your indemnity form that you hand in at the event to participate. No doctor's letter, no fighting.
Let's take a look at what kickboxing is all about. We check out a fight between Stefan Theron and Jan Lof. Check this out. As you can see, that was a kickboxing bout, as it's called. Dave, take us through some of the aspects of kickboxing. What happens in your club?
We do semi-contact, we do light contact. We affiliate to different organizations as well, so we try and diversify what we do in our gym. But we strictly kickboxing, so we do the semi-contact, the light contact, the kick light, we do the full contact and the K1. We've got fighters in all aspects of the game. And Stefan, the guy that you just saw fought, he was at this year SAs. They got an open division where you can participate for the belt. That's the best points fighter in South Africa. And Stefan took that belt this year at SAs.
Well done.
So the standard of Western Province is quite good. The standard of South Africa is quite good, but I'm a firm believer of lead by example. So I cannot expect my guys to do something if I'm not willing to do it self. So I'm still active. I'm still fighting. I'm the double SA champion in my weight division.
Congrats.
And our guys is doing good. And even the girls that's fighting with us, we've got Chantel as well, Nell. She's a very balanced fighter. So I believe that points fighting in South Africa, and especially in the Western Cape, with these type of fighters that's coming through, Josh Jr., there's Lorenzo Gordon, there's Saint Dumas, there's good point fighters in Western Cape. So when we take the guys to the next WACO World Champs, these guys will excel, and they'll definitely be the guys that bring us the medals back.
And we'll touch on that in a minute. You mentioned something earlier which struck a chord with me. You spoke about ladies participating. How prevalent is women participating in kickboxing?
We battle. There's not a lot of lady fighters in kickboxing. There's a couple of gyms that got lady fighters, and these lady fighters, you see them at all the tournaments and you see them at all the fight nights. It's the same girls basically that's fighting. Slowly but surely there's new blood coming in. But we want to get more ladies active into these type of sports, because it's all about safety as well. There's a lot of girls that think it's brutal, but there you saw, it's the safety equipment that the girls are wearing, and they can do the points fighting, they can do the light contact fighting, they can get their Western Province, they can get their Western Cape colours, and they can get their national colours and represent, and they'll still be able to look at themselves. So when they get into a situation, these techniques that they are learned because of muscle memory and stuff, they'll be able to help themselves. And slowly but surely we're getting young ladies in. I've got a young girl at my club in Melkbos, Vanya. She's hot. She's throwing punches like a 21-year-old. So the future for even for points fighting and stuff is looking good. So I think definitely at the next SAs, Western Cape will leave its mark. Because usually we get hammered by the Northern Gauteng guys, because they're good. When they host a tournament, every month there's a tournament, but because they're so close to each other and the clubs are so big, it's the guys' standard is very high. So they're competing against good guys. Here with us, we haven't got that amount of students, so the guys fight each other, but we don't get the experience that those guys at the top get. But slowly but surely it's picking up now.
And these young ladies, I mean, it's not difficult for them to get involved, and also from a safety point of view, they can still be ladies when they're not in the gym.
Yeah, you can go on the website and you can see some of these girls that are fighting. As soon as they get their fighting clothing off and you put them in a nice dress, you'll think it's a model. So it's not taking anything away female from them. They're still looking good. But don't come and look for problems, because they'll nail you. They'll kick you in the face.
But I mean, they're not butch and they're not huge muscular women, because often that's the problem or the misperception that women have of contact sport.
Yeah, especially when you go to the semi-contact and the light contact. It's all about speed. It's skill. So a bigger guy moves slower, a bigger girl moves slower. So I know that from the club in Delft, Sensei Saint Dumas, he's got a couple of young ladies that's training there by him. They're skinny and they fast. Their standard is exceptional, and they're not butch. When they fight, you think, whoa, brother, I'm not going to look for anything with these girls. But once they're off the floor, once they've done their job, then they're a girl again. It's with everything in life is they're just willing to participate and do something that's not mainstream.
Like any other sport, it's about taking the step into the unknown to change what you know, to experience a difference.
Yeah. Nobody wants to get hit in the face.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get nailed. Nobody wants to get kicked. So I remember my first training session when I started in 1977. The very first night, my instructor kicked me in the face and he broke my nose. So that's how I started. So, but today, you get girls that want to fight, because everybody wants to fight.
Yes.
But not all of them can take a punch and give it back. So most of the times, first timers, when they get knocked, they shut down, they start crying, and they walk out. Today, especially with youngsters, they doesn't have that drive to succeed. When things doesn't go smooth or their way, they rather quit, and mom and dad supports them to quit. What actually should happen is motivate the guy. I've had a guy that's been training with me. He got knocked at essays. Came back, he told me he's finished fighting, he's carrying on training. 6 months later, he told me, listen, I'm ready again for my first tournament. And that guy, the progress that he showed was massive. He went back to essays, and I think he got a bronze medal at the essays that year. But the previous one, he got nailed big time. So it's with all the girls, especially, you don't want to hit a girl. A girl's got to look nice.
Yes.
You don't want a girl with a broken nose and high eyebrows and stuff. They got to still look feminine. And with this type of protection that these guys are wearing, they can still look feminine. They can still be a feminine, good fighter. If you check the European fighters overseas, top lady fighters, they look like models. There's nothing wrong with them. They got the speed and the skill to beat male fighters.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about our standard within Western Cape. We recently hosted our Western Cape champs. Tell us a bit about that.
We had Gauteng visiting us last weekend. They came with a team of, I think there were about 30 guys from management, coaching and everything. I think there was about 15 fighters, senior men and women, juniors and older cadets. And they participated against the Western Cape team. We were lucky we beat them with the semi-contact. We took the gold medal as a team.
Yes.
And we got the nice little trophy that goes with it. And then they beat us with the light contact. But it was close. They came down with good students, top of the range students. Those guys are working hard. And Western Cape guys did exceptionally well. Even our coaches, our officials, everybody that was working at the tournament, it was a major success for Western Cape to host such type of tournament. And I know it's the second year that we've been doing this tournament, and I know it's definitely going to grow. They'll come back next year. I think next year we're going to Gauteng to go and fight them there. Yeah. And then we'll see, maybe we can bring both the trophies back home.
That's a good idea. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of that tournament. Check this out. another interesting clip of kickboxing. Dave, I mean, that's a typical kickboxing evening. And how many bouts are there in an evening?
It depends on if it's a trials, like Western Province trials, then obviously you get semi-contact, you get light contact, you get kick light, you get full contact, you get K1. We haven't got a lot of full contact fighters, but we've got a lot of K1 fighters. Then you're looking at, there's a lot of divisions. It's quite big. But when you host, most of the guys that's got these gyms, when they host a fight night, you're looking at about 15 to 20 fights per evening with what they fight. Now what they're doing is they're combining these fights with a bit of MMA, a bit of kickboxing. They put a pro-am fight in. The guys are fighting for belts. But you're looking at about 20 bouts per evening.
And in terms of Western Cape, I mean, how big is kickboxing in the Western Cape?
Western Cape is getting quite big. With Chi and Josh now, we're starting the academy, the Western Cape Kickboxing Academy. He's going to run the ring sport division, and I'm going to be in charge of the points fighting division. I've already got a couple of coaches that I've been dealing with to get the points fighting system running. I've got coaches from Eden, I've got coaches from Overberg, we've got coaches from West Coast, and then obviously from Western Province coaches as well. We haven't got a lot of fighters from Boland, but I've got young coaches in my team, and these guys is the future of kickboxing in South Africa, not just Western Cape.
Yeah.
But we're going to start with Western Cape, and then what we're going to do is with this team is we're going to have 12 tatami fighters and 12 ring fighters. So it's just the high performance fighters, the guys that's been doing exceptionally well and who's participating at all these events and is handling a certain standard. So we're going to take these guys and see if we can work with them. There's a lot of aspects around the academy, what the academy is going to give to these guys. In regards with training, dietitians, body and strength conditioning, to get the guys upstairs also a bit conditioned, because we lack a bit of conditioning upstairs. But what we're going to do is then obviously we're going to have seminars with these young guys. We're going to work as a team. And then what we're going to do is with these coaches that I've got, we're going to do seminars in Western Province, in West Coast, in Boland, in Eden, and put all the stuff that all these fight coaches are bringing to the table, put it back into the dojos at these different districts. Because if those districts are, the standard is getting higher, all of the whole Western Cape district is going to get benefit from this standard. And once we go again to essays, then we can go and participate
and come back with
with all the medals and all the trophies. She and Josh is doing quite good since he started with West Coast. The amount of medals those guys are taking, because he hammers those students, and they're quite good. But overall, Western Province, Eden, Boland, Overberg, all these districts, the students, because there's good coaches.
Yeah.
The coaches in Western Province in Western Cape with kickboxing is good. They all have a high standard and they maintain it, and our students is doing exceptionally well. We're really at essays every year, we're doing good. Slowly but surely we're closing the gap between the medal tally between what those guys in Northern Gauteng is taking. So we're slowly catching up, and I think the last 2 years we're catching up fast. Okay. So we're bringing the medals. We've got the skill, we've got the students, we've got the instructors, we've got everybody, we've got the officials, everybody in Western Province and Western Cape to make sure that we bring the medals.
Good job. Does Western Cape Kickboxing have a website? How do people find out more where dojos are? Is there a portal?
You can go onto SACA website. All the affiliated clubs is listed on SACA's website. If there's a club in your region and you want to go, just go on the website, make sure the name is there. If the name's not there, then you know it's not an affiliated club. Then stay away. All the affiliated clubs in your region will be on the SACA website.
And they've all been vetted for safety, security, everything
You've
else.
got to have a medical as an instructor. You've
Yep.
got to done the course. There's a lot of criteria that's got to be behind you before you can start. Of course, if something happens to a student, you can go to jail.
I agree. Dave Venter, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Let's take an ad break. When we come back, we're going to chat racing pigeons. See you now.